like all the Ghostbusters movies, it's a really fun ride, and what I love about Ghostbusters, it's old people, young people. It just has a great audience, great fan base all over the world, and I think they'll be really pleasantly surprised with this new movie.
You star in the film Champions, which is going to be released on digital on April 28th and on Blu-ray and DVD on May 2nd. For you, how was the experience being on this film and working on this film?
Well, I've done a lot of work over the last 50 plus years.
Yeah.
And Woody Harrelson and I, we did a movie called The Cowboy Way about 30 years ago. Bobby Farrelly, I hadn't worked with, but I love his work. And but I read the script, about special needs team of players. It was really exciting because I felt that community has been so underrepresented in film and TV, and even I think in society in general. I remember I did a movie back in the 90s, early 90s, called The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, and I played a mentally disabled character. But as I was trying to research the character, I found that there were a lot of people I knew, who had children who had disabilities, and they had either put in a home or they just didn't talk about. It was like you just sort of didn't mention that. And so now it was wonderful to read a script that just really represented that community in a way that I thought was accessible and people could get. So that was the most exciting thing for me. I knew Bobby is known for creating a great environment for actors to sort of create but I think meeting some of the young people and seeing them sort of come together and really just give these wonderful performances, that was really exciting for me.
You mentioned that you worked with Woody Harrelson before. How was it working with him again?
Yeah, Woody is one of those guys. It's very hard for me to imagine anybody not liking Woody. He's just a really great guy, but he's really uniquely individual. I mean, he's definitely Woody, but he just has a great spirit. And even watching him connect with the disabled people in the film, because when the director would say cut, unlike a lot of actors, he didn't just retreat to his trailer. He would actually spend time hanging out with them. Really got to know everyone really well, and I felt that it was that sort of interaction and acceptance that made everybody feel like they were a part of the team, and just took that edge away. So the performances are really truly amazing.
And in the film, you play Phil, who's the coach of the semi-pro team, and also Marcus's friend, who's played by Woody Harrelson. I read that you're not a big sports fan. So when you're working on a film like this, where you're a coach and you're coaching basketball, do you have a newfound respect for the sport as well as coaching in general?
Well, I have well, it's not a newfound respect. I've always had a lot of respect for, for sports. I mean, I'm amazed at, athleticism, what people are able to do with their bodies, and I mean the precision that it requires. There are people who are truly, truly gifted. As a kid, I was very good in athletics, but I never felt that it was a place for me. Only because I felt that the people who try to encourage me to participate was interested in me because I was Black. That's how it felt to me. Now I'm older now and realize it was more to it than that. But I just felt because I'm Black, and the school system that I was in, which is in Michigan, they made a deliberate attempt to separate the Black kids and did not involve us in a lot of things except for sports. Mm-hmm. And so that it was just very personal to me. Now I realize it would have been a lot of fun, but I really admire that. And also coaches, not just for the ability to sort of coach a team to success or whatever, but the ability to be with a group of people and commit and to see them through. So it's not just the coaching, but mentoring and just nurturing and all that it takes to build a team of competent people to succeed. So yeah, I really respect that. I'm just not a part of a community that I know a lot about.
Yeah.
And of course, as you're acting, you want to create that world. So there are people who are there who know that. But I think it would have been much more effective probably had I played basketball, which I played, in high school, but never really seriously.
Of course. And I think one of the things that impressed me with this movie is how the kids played on the court and as well as they performed on screen. So how much did you enjoy seeing those kids in action?
It was great. I mean, I can't say I was surprised,
right?
But I was really, it was great to see them, and I see them seize this opportunity that I know probably hasn't come along very often for a lot of these young people, and and I think they showed that there's something about I don't know, I want to say our species, certainly in our society, that we seem to believe that unless you present a certain way, that your life doesn't have value. You know what I mean? You have to be like everyone else in order to have a decent life, and that simply isn't true. We're all uniquely different. And I think in this film, the laughter, the camaraderie, just the love and respect, and the capabilities are displayed. And I think it might come as a surprise to certain people, but life doesn't. We try to say this is life and that's, but truth of the matter is life is. I played a homeless guy in a movie years ago called Everything's Jake, and it was about a man who had been homeless almost since he was, childhood. But life still goes on. It just might not be in the way that we think it should be. But these kids certainly. I say kids. I apologize. In my age, everybody's a kid, but these young people certainly showed that they're more than capable. And I hope it opens the door to more acting opportunities and more opportunities to participate in the film and television industry.
Of course. And Champions is an underdog story, which makes it very, very relatable. When you talk about your career in Hollywood, did you ever feel like you're an underdog at one point?
Well, it's kind of a mixture. Yeah, there's always a feeling of, being a bit of an underdog. But on the other hand, I was taught that I was very special. Mm-hmm. Some people might say why. I have no idea why. My grandmother, I didn't have either parent, so my grandmother raised me. But I've always felt that, yeah, I was special and I deserved just wonderful things. And that's even though life sometimes presented differently or might have looked differently to certain people, but I've always felt that no, man, my life is, life is good, and even I was a single dad, and sure there was struggles, but it never felt to me that that I didn't deserve the best of that the universe, life is not belong to a certain group, or that we should be not entitled to all the richness of life. I think sometimes, I feel people get caught up into believing you have to have certain economic, wealth or conditions in order to be happy. And that simply is not true. So being an underdog, I never felt whatever disadvantage is. I never felt that way. But I also know that society is set up in a way to try and convince me that I somehow deserve less, or that I'm somehow less capable, or whatever. None of it ever made any sense to me. I'm like, this is a great journey. It's between me and God, and the rest of us. We're just here to have fun, So I don't know if that answers the question, but no, I never really, you know what I mean? It's like, and sometimes they'll even come and they'll say, wow, you're making this and the other person is making that. So don't you feel, I'm like, well, I got what I need. So I'm good.
Absolutely. And along with your work in Champions, you currently star in the NBC series Quantum Leap. Now, I remember watching Quantum Leap in the 1990s with Scott Bakula. So how does this version stand out from that 1990s version?
Well, this is Quantum Leap, 30 years into the future, which is really what it has been. It's been a good 30 years now. And Raymond Lee, who plays Dr. Ben Song, is the Leaper, the role that Scott Bakula played. What makes this iteration different is we in the old show, you saw the Leap, and then they had a hologram that was played by Dean Stockwell, who would be with him. And so every episode they were leaping from person to person. This is about the Ziggy, the computer, and also the team that runs that. And so you get both. You get the leap, but you also get what's happening current day. The first season was mostly about the leaps, but now we're in our second season, and now we begin to discover who these people are. I play a character who had been leaped into in the original series, who, after having that experience, got the Navy and the Pentagon to fund and open up the project that had been shut down. And so it's really, really, the writing is amazing. It's a great cast, and I'm just loving working on it. We're in our second season now. I think it's doing well. It's always hard to know where the numbers are and all that, but I encounter people on the street who love the show, and I really love working on it.
And another successful show you're on is the BET Plus series, The Family Business. I know that season 4 just wrapped up. Will there be a season 5?
I hope so. They're talking about it. Carl Weber, who created and writes just about all the episodes. Yeah, I mean, that's, I'm one of the producers on the show, and it plays to an audience that the studios seem to think I don't, I haven't done a lot of movies directed toward certainly the urban Black audience. And this is a show that does, but I just love working. It's a great cast. Some of the story, it's a different kind of story than, say, a Quantum Leap or a Ghostbuster. And I like the fact that it's different. But I hope there's a season 5. They're talking about it. And, when there's money on the table, then I know they're serious. Until then, it's a lot of talk. But I think there'll be, I think the fans have been open to it. And I know the other actors want it to happen. So I hope so.
Yeah, let's definitely hope so. And when it comes to movies, you are starring in The Retirement Plan, which has a really talented cast with Nicolas Cage, Ron Perlman, Ashley Greene, just to name a few. What can you tell us about that film?
It's a great film. Nicolas Cage, I've always been a fan of his work.
Yeah.
Kind of like we talked about Woody Harrelson. Nicolas is just one of those guys, started out very young, and he's just great. And he really fully embraces all of the work that he does. I've been a fan of his, and the movie is just a real fun action adventure. At this stage in my life, like I said, I've been doing this for over 50 years, and it's nice to have a good action movie where I get to be involved in the action. So it's a great fun, good cast, and I haven't seen the finished product, but I know it should be coming soon. Yeah.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that. And the last question for me before I let you go is, most people know you from what your work in Ghostbusters. You were in Ghostbusters Afterlife. I really enjoyed that. And I know there's going to be a sequel. What can you tease about this movie? What can you say about it, if anything?
Well, at the very end, I don't know if you stayed for the end credits, but Winston, where he's a billionaire now, he's done very well in life. And so he's always enjoyed that part, the whole ghost busting thing. So he's taken his part of his fortune and brought a whole different level to the Ghostbusters. And so the new movie sort of deals with that. And as we move into the future of busting ghosts, but Winston is a fun character to play. I'm so glad to see that arch. It's like all the Ghostbusters. It's a really fun ride, and what I love about Ghostbusters, it's old people, young people. It just has a great audience, great fan base all over the world, and I think they'll be really pleasantly surprised with this new movie. So yeah, it's good.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to all your other projects. Ernie, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Congratulations on everything and continued success to you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time, and yeah, continued success to you too, man. Stay up.
Thank you so much. Absolutely.